In the stillness of night, when the world around you lies silent and empty, your thoughts thunder like a storm within your skull. You feel alone, as though treading a path invisible to others. But remember this: solitude is not emptiness. In this very darkness, a fierce flame of potential burns within your spirit. Each lonely hour you endure, each doubt you quiet, is fuel that will propel you upward. Your mind is a garden, and it awaits the seeds you choose to sow. In these quiet moments, do not mistake stillness for emptiness. The universe is watching, waiting to reward those who nurture the seeds of their mind. Have you ever noticed the power of a single thought? It can be a whisper or a roar. Today, right now, let your thoughts roar with possibility. Think of a young inventor locked in a dim workshop, working by the faint glow of a candle. That was Thomas Edison, who blew out flame after flame, each seeming failure carrying him closer to breakthrough. Even in his loneliness and doubt, Edison kept working until he brought light to the world. Imagine Abraham Lincoln, sitting alone by a quiet fire late at night, the weight of the nation's turmoil heavy on his heart. Each year of struggle was a lonely one, yet he believed in a future of unity even when it seemed hopeless. Remember Andrew Carnegie, an immigrant boy who arrived in a strange land with nothing, not even a penny to his name. He slept on a ship and toiled alone in mills, but he held on to dreams no one else could see. The men and women of true greatness were often lonely travelers at first. They felt the cold grip of isolation, but they did not let it destroy them. Instead, they turned that darkness into a forge for their spirit, into a creative nest for their ideas, into the very reason to step boldly forward. This moment, right now, is where you steel your mindset. Your mindset is the fortress of your fate. It can shield you from the storms of ridicule and despair, or it can crumble before them. When every voice around you tells you you cannot, the power of belief within you must say, "I will." Belief turns dreams into reality. Right now you might doubt yourself, but what if you chose to decide differently? What if you found one idea so compelling that you refused to let it go? Walt Disney himself was once told he lacked imagination and was fired for dreaming too big. He believed he could create magic out of nothing. Henry Ford was ridiculed when he said he'd sell cars to ordinary people. He believed they would, and he delivered. And today, in this new age, the stage is global, and the voices of doubt have multiplied on screens and feeds, whispering that you're too young, too quiet, too different, too lost. But remember, Kobe Bryant spent countless nights alone in the gym, training while the world slept to become a legend. Elon Musk launched rockets despite everyone telling him he was insane. Think of Malala Yousafzai, who at age 15 was shot for demanding school, yet she held on to her vision and now inspires millions with a Nobel Peace Prize. You are walking paths that countless others walked in silence. For example, J.K. Rowling, a single mother writing in a cold cafe by candlelight with rejection letters piled up around her, held onto her story until it became magic for millions. Think of Helen Keller, deaf and blind, trapped inside her own silence, who learned to communicate by feeling letters on her palm and emerged as a voice for millions. These people believed when no one else did. Listen closely to your internal voice. It is the compass of your destiny. Your belief is the spark, your clarity of purpose, the direction. Even if the way forward is dim, you can find a flicker of direction inside you. Even when the world seems clouded and unclear, the sun is still shining behind the clouds. Trust that clarity is there, even if you cannot see it yet. In those moments when you feel nothing is changing, remember, even the mightiest oak was once an acorn buried in earth, stretching roots in silence before reaching skyward. Have you ever felt hidden by shadows? Know this: you are not defined by the shadows that surround you now, but by the light you nurture in the dark. This clarity of purpose, this focus on the bright star in the distance, will guide you through uncertainty. Clarity is the lantern in the night. It carves a path in confusion. Imagine yourself at a crossroads in the dark, without a map or compass. 100 paths stretch into unknown forests, and without clarity, your feet falter. But when you light the lantern of a clear goal, suddenly you see the path meant for you. For example, imagine a sculptor striking at raw marble. Though at first it is unshaped stone, he already sees the statue within. In your mind's eye, see the statue, your goal, and you will chip away at every barrier in front of you. Like a sailor trusting the North Star to guide a ship in a storm, trust your own bright star to guide you out of darkness. If your vision is strong, it will feel like a hidden compass in your gut steering you steadily. Historic souls stood in the darkness with lanterns in hand. Henry Ford, after failure, held on to a clear vision. A car for everyone, not just the rich. Even as factories burned and doubters jeered, his purpose never wavered. Abraham Lincoln himself stared at the dark clouds of civil war, but held an unwavering vision of a united nation, determined that a man would be judged not by his birth, but by his character. He once looked at the distant horizon and whispered a future where freedom lit up the landscape. That vision sustained him through the darkest nights. As Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed of a shining day to break the night, so too must you hold your own dream aloft. Your vision need not be grand at first. It can start as a whispered desire. Perhaps you wish to lift someone's burden, to solve a problem no one else can solve, or to reach a goal that even frightens you. See a clear image in your mind's eye, not a blur, but a precise picture of where you will be. Even Elon Musk, champion of rockets and electric cars, began with a vague spark of an idea. He sharpened it and gave it exact form in his mind. When he looked at the stars, he saw a future on Mars and refused to let the night hide that dream from him. Fix your mind on the bullseye like an archer, and your hand will follow the aim. Once clarity dawns, action finds direction. Purpose emerges from every dedicated step you take. The faintest effort gains weight. Every single action, every frustration, every stumble has meaning, because it moves you closer to the light you saw in the distance. Right now, in these silent hours, find your clarity. It might be hidden behind fear, like a distant mountain peak lost in clouds. Inch forward, and the clouds will part. Write it down, draw it, speak it into existence. Clarity is born from the courage to want more than the world says you deserve. Let the examples of those who came before guide you. Think of Malala, who did not ask, "What will be easy?" but held her vision of girls' education and faced down weapons for it. Even a lonely figure like Steve Jobs, after being cut adrift from his own company, found clarity by asking himself simple questions. What is truly right? What does the world need that only I can provide? With that purpose crystallized, he returned to Apple and changed the world. Now, with your clarity and vision blazing like twin torches, turn to purpose, that steady drumbeat echoing in your chest. Your purpose is the beating drum of your destiny. It may start as a whisper in the dark, a voice asking why you exist, what fire you carry within. Napoleon Hill called it the definiteness of purpose, the single-minded goal that becomes your North Star. When purpose becomes your star, you learn to hear it over the noise around you. It could be to change the life of one person, or to inspire millions. It could be to invent something new, to write a book, to create art, to build a legacy from nothing. What matters is that it rings true in your soul. Henry Ford knew his purpose was to build affordable cars for the masses. He acted on it relentlessly. Even the Wright brothers started in a small garage, testing wing after wing with determination. Each failed flight was not a fall, but a lesson that led them closer to the sky. And it was purpose that kept Andrew Carnegie reading book after book on industry and sales, while others slept or partied, so that he could someday transform steel into an empire. If you woke up tomorrow with your purpose blazing in your heart, would your steps quicken? In solitude, a resolve can echo louder than 1,000 cheers. It is that purpose that whispers to you when no one else speaks. When purpose burns within, you harness another power, discipline. Discipline is the steady heartbeat of commitment. Think of Kobe Bryant again. Before dawn, he woke to practice shots while the rest of the world still slept. Day after day, that discipline sharpened his talent. Think of Walt Disney, drawing the same cartoon over and over until each line felt like second nature. Even Malcolm Gladwell noted that greatness comes from 10,000 hours of practice, and those hours are mostly quiet and lonely. Discipline is what Steve Jobs lived by, a ruthless focus on every detail and a refusal to compromise. You might be alone now, but solitude is your training ground. Gandhi rose before dawn to meditate and spin cotton. He was alone, but he remembered his purpose to bring freedom to millions, and discipline carved that vision into history. Beethoven continued composing symphonies long after going deaf, demonstrating devotion to his craft beyond excuse. Leonardo da Vinci painted stroke by stroke, and every great oak tree stands because it reached each year a bit further toward the sun, trunk by trunk. In this quiet, weave discipline into your routine. Dream days are not enough. Vision is nothing without the grind. Set a daily schedule and stick to it, treating each day as a brick laid in the foundation of your future. When fatigue and frustration whisper to give up, grit your teeth and take one more step. Every time you resist a temptation that pulls you away from your purpose, you strengthen your character. Small acts of discipline stack into something unstoppable over time. Remember, every great career is built one day at a time. The oak grows tall because it stretches year after year, not in an instant. Think of military training. Boots in mud at dawn, perfecting every drill while the world sleeps. Soldiers need no applause for those acts, yet that discipline builds their unbreakable spirit. When you do what you must, even when you do not feel like it, you're forging yourself. Follow your purpose with courage, and discipline will follow. As purpose and discipline intertwine, they form the base on which to act. Now, with your purpose clear and your will steeled, you are ready to take action. Now, nothing changes without action. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. What good is purpose if your feet remain rooted in doubt? In the quiet, rise up and move. Plant a seed today. Take one more step forward. Reach out, start building, even when you feel powerless. Think of Elon Musk founding SpaceX after losing his fortune. Think of Walt Disney, who once drew Mickey Mouse in a tiny apartment. These were not miracles, but actions piled on top of each other. They took steps without waiting for perfect conditions. You may tremble, but do it trembling. Start even if you are scared. Each action, no matter how small, amplifies your purpose. It may feel pointless at first, like talking into an empty room, but every word eventually finds its audience. Every drop of water, when persistent, hollows the stone. Without action, a vision is just a star in the sky. With action, it becomes a path under your feet. Abraham Lincoln once said, "The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. So take your future one action at a time." In solitude, pick up that tool or open that notebook. Write the first line of your story. Send the first message. Speak the word you hesitated to say. Just begin. There will be setbacks. Others may doubt you. But do not let that stop you. Even Michael Jordan missed thousands of shots, but he took the next shot anyway. Remember Viktor Frankl, an Auschwitz survivor, who later wrote that even in the worst conditions, finding something to be grateful for kept his mind alive. As you act, remember to be grateful. Gratitude doesn't weaken determination, it magnifies it. Being grateful makes you stronger. Even in hardship, find reasons to say thank you. Look around at what you have, even if it seems like nothing. The breath in your lungs, the pulse of life that tells you a new day is possible. A single friend, a kind word on a dark night, even the moment of calm. These are gifts. Oprah Winfrey, who overcame deep trials herself, says she got through by counting her blessings every morning. Appreciate the lessons in pain and the moments of peace. Say thank you to your journey for making you fearless. Every night, whisper gratitude for surviving, for learning, for dreaming. Gratitude will turn your focus from what's missing to what's possible. Embrace this daily. Before the sun rises, choose to say thank you for what lies within and around you. Feel the warmth of that choice and let it carry you. As a musician plays one note at a time to complete a symphony, or a writer writes one word at a time to complete a novel, you begin your epic with just one step. The journey of 1,000 miles truly begins with the courage to take that first step. Make a single choice to move forward, then another and another. In months and years, these choices compound into mountains of achievement. Even a single smile can lift the weight from someone's day. A quiet act of kindness, done anonymously, can create unseen waves of hope. In the moments you give thanks and push yourself to act, you become the hero of your own story. Every small victory, every night you whisper thank you, shifts your reality. Every act of gratitude is like watering the roots of your own success. It makes everything you do grow taller and stronger in time. Wake up tomorrow and before anything else, choose to thank the sun for rising, the ground for holding you, the very life in your veins. Each act of gratitude is turning what's missing to what's possible. Your smallest efforts can ripple outward. Even now, start small. Write one sentence, make one sketch, call one old friend. We may not see the impact of a single day's work, but like ripples on still water, those choices will touch more lives than you know. Every step taken with action and gratitude is a step away from despair and towards hope. The journey you started in silence will one day be impossible to keep quiet. In time, others will draw strength from the light you have kindled in the darkness. Hold that belief through it all, because your greatest hours are yet to come. Eventually, it will be others who smile because you smiled first. Keep doing your small part, keep giving thanks, and you will find the world begins to smile back at you. And hold on to hope always, because you have endured. Your greatest victories are emerging just beyond the horizon. Adaptability is your secret weapon. Water takes the shape of any vessel. Learn to flow around obstacles. When one door slams, look for a window. Your journey may twist unexpectedly. The field you trained for might not welcome you, or a path you were following may vanish. But remember the sunflower. Even on stormy days, it adjusts its head to catch whatever sun appears. Imagine a great tree battered by storms. It may bend, but it rarely breaks because it has deep roots and a flexible trunk. Be that tree. Even the river cannot be stopped by a rock. It simply flows around it to keep moving forward. For example, a starfish, when cut in half, regenerates into 2 new starfish instead of giving up. You too can regrow the parts of yourself when you feel broken. Even legends adapted when everything changed. Steve Jobs, after being cast out of Apple, could have given in to bitterness. Instead, he started new ventures and learned, coming back to transform a dying company into a world changer. Think of Elon Musk watching rockets crash, or how Apple had to reinvent itself after failures. They reassessed, re-engineered, and tried again. If one strategy fails, treat it as a lesson and pivot. If one path closes, find another. In solitude, you have time to rechart your map, to learn new skills, to observe the shifting terrain. Even the greatest successes were built on a foundation. Resilience goes hand in hand with adaptability. It's the muscle that grows stronger through resistance. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He could have quit the game. Instead, he trained harder and eventually became the greatest player of all time. Edison tested thousands of filaments before finding the one that glowed. Each failure was a step closer, not a step back. Every wound you carry is a badge of honor, evidence that you dared to stand and fight. Like a mountain battered by storms, you stand strong and still reach toward the sky. When the world pushes you down, push harder to rise. Use pain as your teacher. Remember that morning when you woke up alone and still found purpose. That act itself is proof of your resilience. In these quiet hours, every heartache and setback is tempering you. Every hardship adds a layer of steel to your spine. You learn and you grow. Each chapter of your solitude is a lesson learned. Your loneliness is a classroom, and life itself is the curriculum. Imagine coal turning into a diamond under pressure. In adversity, You are being forged into something just as precious. Imagine each struggle as a blacksmith's hammer striking steel. It hurts, but it is forging you into something sharper and stronger. Every experience has a lesson. Ask yourself, what is this trial shaping me into? Maybe you discover patience or compassion you never knew you had. History's greatest souls never wasted their struggles. They used them as fuel. Edison took one more look at the filament. Lincoln stood up one more time after each loss. So will you, standing up again and again, stronger each time. Every step you have taken through loneliness is teaching you to be unstoppable, unshakable, uniquely prepared for what is to come. You are already braver than you think, with strength built in the quiet. Now the moment is here. All those giants of history who came before you let their trials transform their fate, and now it's your turn. You are on the verge of a metamorphosis. Imagine the caterpillar, encased alone in its cocoon, writhing and struggling in darkness. It would be easy to surrender, but instead that struggle builds strength until one day it bursts forth with wings. You are about to emerge. In this very moment, through every breath you've taken in hardship, something new has been forming in you. Your spirit, like steel tempered in fire, is now strong and resilient. You who sat alone in the quiet are becoming a person who stands in the light. Every heartache and every obstacle you endured was only preparing you to step into the greatness meant for you. You may feel alone, but in reality, you belong to an eternal company of dreamers and doers. Thomas Edison was once alone with his flickering bulb. Abraham Lincoln was alone with his broken heart. They did not stay in shadows, and neither will you. All you have done in darkness will now serve the coming dawn. Do not fear the night you are in. It is the womb of your rebirth. Every saint and hero was forged in the fires of adversity. You have attended that forge long enough. Your transformation is at hand. Now stand on the edge of a new dawn. Feel the power you have built inside you. Feel the empathy you've gathered through hardship. The fears you once held like chains now fall away. Your soul is awakening. You are not alone, even if it feels that way. Look inside and feel the presence of giants who overcame worse. You carry the legacy of every soul who dared to persist. In you is the strength of Edison's creativity, Lincoln's resolve, Musk's audacity, Bryant's Mamba will, and your own unique vision. You are the storm and the calm, the question and the answer. And above all, you are the one who never gave up. Think of Walt Disney, who was once bankrupt and working in a tiny studio, yet he held on to his dreams and transformed the world with enchantment. Imagine each struggle as a blacksmith's hammer strike on steel. It hurts, but it has made you sharper and stronger. Now the moment is here. All those giants of history took their trials and let them change their fate. Napoleon Hill taught that our greatest successes are born from our spirit's ability to rise from adversity. You too can change. You have been shaped by this journey. Someday you will look back on these nights of solitude and realize each one was a stepping stone to your destiny. And now stand tall and embrace the greatness that awaits you. You are now the architect of your destiny, the hero of your own story. Hang in there. Greatness awaits. Embrace this new dawn. Trust your journey. Your legacy begins now.